What's up, everyone? Boo. How's everyone doing? It is not Friday. It is Monday. It's special edition of Pub Talk. We got the newly reformed, amazing Our Theme Life. We got Mike.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Buddy? I don't know if he's recovered yet, but we got Adam. I don't think he's ever going to be recovered from the stag do last week. That was awesome.
I was recovered 20 minutes later.
Look here. Look what we have. We got Disney Dan, ladies and gentlemen. In the, as our friend Dave would say, in his house. What's up, Dan?
Disney Dan.
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday. It is certainly a Monday. So, by the way, the guys in our little chat, like, they're like, hey, what about Dave? Like, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, and I reached out to Dave. Road Trip Dave, of course. And I said his house, and Dave just couldn't make it. So we love Dave. I know he's like cocked up, like in a big gun, like ready to go and everything.
Of course.
I just asked him, how do you feel? He's like, well, we'll get to it when we say it, but he's definitely not a fan of one thing. So,
right.
That's the parking at the resorts. That's what he doesn't like.
It's the what?
Yeah, that's
the parking at the resorts he doesn't like.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's if you don't get it, that's a joke that's been going on for like I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years.
I was going to say it's been at least a 5-year ongoing thing there.
If you can't get over that, it's pretty bad. I don't know. He's got to get. It's already come and gone. Like that's not even a thing anymore, right? Like they don't charge for parking anymore, do they?
If you stay at a resort, I think you do.
I think they don't. I think they reversed it, didn't they? I don't know. In the chat, let us know. Do they still charge parking? I don't know.
I think charge
if that's the biggest breaking news of the week, then we've
that's
really
not even
missed
new.
out
That's
a
like
lot.
Before. They did, I'm not really. I don't know. I could be making stuff up. I don't even know where to begin. We're gonna go about an hour. We're just very busy, especially this guy right here. Right here, this guy. He's getting married in hours at this point. He's in hours.
I don't even know what day it is anymore.
It all just runs together after a certain point, right?
Does it? Does it?
It does. Yeah.
I really hope so.
Adam, I'll put it into perspective. Before you know it, you'll be celebrating your 1-year anniversary like I am doing tomorrow.
Well,
what date? What date is mine? I'm joking. I'm joking. I know. Yeah. 1 year, Daniel. God, that's gone.
1 year since
that's gone quick.
Tomorrow.
That's congratulations, man. That's
what
a beautiful day that was.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
Forget, check out my amazing sponsors. Dinners with Donna. We got Diz Tales. We got Pink Panty. All my members. Thank you so much. Of course, we got Mike. Check out his channel. Right. I just want to get these right off the bat. Get some promotion here.
Cheers, guys. I got my Savannah Ghost Pirates little koozie here. It's the local hockey team here. It's like minor league hockey. It's like the ECHL, but it's so fun. The games are so fun. So we got a free koozie last game we went to. So cheers, guys.
I like that.
And welcome everybody to the chat, into the stream.
We got this guy right here. We got Adam's Land. My man, what's up? He's going to be posting a lot of stuff. I'm excited. I think he's inspired. His honeymoon's coming up. He's going to be down there for 552 days. He's going to be in Florida.
552 days. That would be good. Yeah. We're really looking forward to it. A lot of vlogs planned. Maybe the odd live stream or two as well. A bit of a Halloween Horror Nights collaboration with someone that's in the chat right now. So
it's me.
Yes.
Spoiler.
Yeah. So yeah. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting out there and making content again because it's. Cool. I've just not had the time during a lot of film work and wedding prep and stuff like that. So
we'll talk about it. We'll get back to. We got Disney Dan in his house as.
I am definitely in his house because it's still not fully. As you can tell,
that is a nice mirror.
Actually,
I think you've regressed since last time you were on the stream. It is a nice mirror.
Actually, you know what? It's got a lot worse since the last time I was on the stream. But I've managed to do this cabinet thing behind me by this 2-message show. But once this whole setup is redone, then I'll be able to start doing some streams properly and doing some good stuff. We've got some good things planned. And leading on to one minor announcement, I was announcing D23. I might be starting a new series.
Ooh.
I don't know if anybody has yet.
Intriguing.
Everyone in the chat say, ooh.
Ah.
It involves, possibly, I don't know if anyone's started this stuff yet. It involves Disney Lorcana, if anyone's familiar.
I'm not sure what that is, but
it is the trading card, like the Pokemon of Disney. So it's like all these trading cards in that, like unpacking, boxing thingies.
very cool.
And it's become really quite
interesting. I want to see it. It sounds interesting. I don't know anyone who has it, which is interesting. So, but it just doesn't.
It's going to be the new big thing. Trust me.
Okay, very cool.
I'm going to be like the guy who does it.
Spread your wings and fly.
Spread my wings.
Yeah, like Adam said to you last week, he reminded us we do have a podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, we're on YouTube. We have a podcast too, so check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. I'm going to go to this guy right here who is in the chat, Adam, before we move on. We got to move.
Well, who is in the live chat? So we've got the real Stephen TV. Welcome in, Stephen. We've got Our Themed Life. We've got Kevin's channel. Welcome in, Kevin. How you doing, buddy? We've got the Mickey Bunch. Welcome in, Kelly. It's great to see you. Who else have we got? We've got Dear's Mom 7. We've got some guy named Disney Dan.
We got Disney.
Who the heck
I love
is
that.
that?
We need a T-shirt with that on it.
Yeah, there was some guy named Disney Dan.
Yeah, we need some guy named Disney Dan T-shirt.
I'll see if we can get one made. We got Pink Pam. How you doing, Pam? Who else have we got? Let's scroll down. We got Max Webster. Yeah. How you doing, Max? We got Movie Mania Nick in the chat as well.
Out here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So welcome in, guys. I don't think we've got Mr. Fulton Miraz as well. So yeah, welcome in, guys.
All right, I'm gonna say it, guys. I don't know how you guys feel. There was a lot of announcements at D23 Saturday night. Let's just for first
23 announcements. 23 announcements,
and that's not even
exactly 23.
And that's not even including the stuff that happened on Friday night either.
Yeah, I was going to say Friday night. They did the movies. We might have to do another stream with the movies. I don't know. And then they had the Disney Legends Sunday. But I want to talk about the parks announcements. So, how many were there, Adam?
23. D23, 23 announcements. I only know that because I watched Jack say it on DSNY newscast last night. So I'm going to credit him for that information.
That's a pretty reliable source there. So you can't go wrong with that.
D23, and to make it cute, it's D23 announcements. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the new, changing the toilet paper in the stall had to be the 23rd announcement because they ran out. No, they were all good announcements. So I don't know. So what do you guys think? Like real quick, my first thought is a lot of cool stuff coming, but it's always like, oh, it's announced, and like the next thing is like, all right, what are we losing? Every single time,
Well, I think, sorry, Dan, I think my main thing was how is it going to, I guess, measure up to the Epic Universe news? That was kind of the elephant in the room for me, right? Okay, so it's like, we've got the Epic Universe coming out next summer. So my initial thought was, okay, what are they going to announce? What are they going to do to kind of answer, I guess, the Epic Universe? Yeah. Fight back, yeah. And
you guys started.
While I think they made a lot of awesome announcements. I think
you know what it was.
The ultimate would have been, hey, we're going to build a fifth gate.
Yeah,
but
I completely agree. But I don't think Bob Iger and I forget his name, who I want to say Zach. Oh, what's his name? Who runs the parks? Is it Zach? I can't remember. Anyway,
Josh Tomorrow.
Josh, not Zach. I don't know where I got. Yeah, Josh Tomorrow. I don't think they're there with the fifth gate thing yet. Like they're not. They've openly said that they want to focus at the moment on increasing capacity at the parks. So so that's. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing to do that is going to be the big one they announced for Magic Kingdom, and I'm not talking about cars. So we'll get to that.
Here's
but,
my thing, right? Yeah. Here's my thing, and this has happened before, right? I think people got to remember this has happened before because when Universal announced the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Disney were like, "Hold my Mickey waffles, we're gonna make Avatar." And Pandora, Disney's Animal Kingdom. which obviously blew everyone's expectations, even though people were doubting them in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Universal now said, "Oh yeah, we're going to build a third park, Epic Universe," and don't get me wrong, like the trailers for the Epic Universe stuff with the Super Mario stuff and the Harry Potter stuff and the Disney and the Dark Universe stuff, they were like, "Oh yeah, they look pretty impressive." But again, Disney were like, "Hold on, hold my Mickey waffles. Instead of doing a movie monsters, we're going to make a whole villains land." Super Mario, you've done that before, and to be honest, there's only so much you can do with Harry Potter. There's so many places. What are they going to do? The cupboard under the stairs next for Harry Potter? But here's the thing. I think Disney are always going to be one step ahead of Universal. I think next year, Universal are going to have the best year they're going to have for a long time. And then from 2026 onwards, I think Disney are going to come back with all the announcements that they've promised and all the announcements that they've said. And it's going to be like nothing we've ever seen before. And it kind of felt like, weirdly, like 2012 again, when they announced things like New Fantasyland, Pandora, and Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge. It felt like that, where it wasn't up in the air. It was literally, hey, we're going to bring in all this great stuff, out with the old, in with the new. Tom Sawyer Island, goodbye. We're bringing in this kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be a massive good thing for Disney. And if anyone's got any doubters out there, you need to get on the bandwagon train, because we're going to leave you behind.
I think it's a big announcement. It's certainly the biggest one they've done in a while. I don't think this year's announcements, though, are as big as, was it 2017 when they announced?
Yeah, it was 2017.
Yeah, 2017 was huge.
Wars,
Galaxy's Edge and
Galaxy's Edge,
and things like that. So I don't think it's like been the biggest D23.
You don't think Villains Land is as big as Galaxy's Edge? Because everyone's been asking for Villains Land or Villains Park.
There has been a massive hankering for it. I completely agree. I just think Star Wars Land, is possibly, Galaxy's Edge, is possibly still trumping that. I don't get me wrong. I'm not shooting down this D23. I think there's a lot of stuff to be excited about. Absolutely. A couple of things I was a bit like, but and you got to remember, this isn't just Disney World, is it? Like, the thing with Universal is Epic Universe is just Orlando, but the space that Universal have also acquired to possibly build a fourth theme park as well, and a City Walk 2.0, that they've acquired, that's going to keep the battle going in Orlando. Disney set aside $60 billion, dollars, but that's to spread all around the world, so obviously there was announcements for Shanghai and Hong Kong, and I can't remember if there was anything for Tokyo, but Paris got some good stuff, to redevelop what was the Studios Park, which was the smallest Disney park around the world. The Paris Studios Park is now becoming Disney Adventure Land or World or Disney, Park or whatever it is. It's an adventure. And they're getting like a Lion King ride that looks kind of like a Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou kind of style thing, which is brave for Paris, because Parisians don't always get the weather for a water ride. It's not like Florida or California.
I hope it's an animated version, not a live action version of the Lion King.
That's the key.
The art for that Paris ride, the art looks like the movie, although they said it's going to be based on the animated version. That's what they said on stage. So we'll see. But of course, obviously, I think for many of us, the ones we're mostly interested in is going to be Florida and California. That's the one that most people go to. Like, the Brits might go to Paris as well, but
I think personally, as our host has just gone off and whatever.
Rob has apologized. Rob has apologized. He's something's just come up, so he'll be back in a moment. So
I think what we should do is just go around the table here and choose something that was announced, and then just keep going around until we, like, maybe we'll leave like something like Villains Land till last. I'm sure Rob will want to talk about that. But I think maybe if we all picked like some things, and we can just see what people thought, see what your thoughts are, what the chat think, and then get going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So should we go to Mike first? Because we need to go for the mic check.
Mic check. One, two, one, two.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Hit us with something that you were like, "Whoa, I didn't see that coming," or something that really stood out.
Well, to be completely honest, there was a lot of the announcements that didn't really surprise me. I think a lot of them were kind of speculated in years past, and a lot of them have come to fruition. So not a whole lot surprised me, other than really the Monsters Inc. stuff, like the Monsters Inc. roller coaster, like the whole Indiana Jones replacing dinosaur.
Yep.
Saw that coming. You know, Tropical America. I think is that what the new land's going to be called? Tropical America.
What it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then I heard the rumor about Encanto several months back, and they actually are going through with it, and they announced it. So that wasn't a total surprise.
I like the clarification they've done on that, though. The clarification of what they, so
it was
they've
so
actually
blue sky,
filled the backstory now. Yeah, it was so blue sky, the Encanto part, and Indiana
yeah.
Jones was rumor.
Right.
But the Encanto thing now is set on the day that Antonio gets his gift, his power,
right.
which ties in with the animals, because he can talk to the animals and stuff like that, and the ride. I don't know what the ride system is yet, but obviously the ride vehicles are supposed to be furniture going around the casita and going around the house and stuff like that.
Yeah, I suspect it'd be like a trackless type Ratatouille type thing. The same along the same lines of the same technology. Yeah.
Did you see on the floor? I think it was on the floor of D23. There were these chairs that literally just single-seater chairs that were just moved on this floor, like not like a trackless vehicle, but just trackless chairs, and you just sit in the chair.
That's cool.
I wonder if it's going to be something like that for the Encanto / what I call the Pixar? No, Disney X-Men movie ride, because Encanto is pretty much just the X-Men, isn't it? So because they all have like mutant powers. I think that's what I think they could bring in that chair kind of technology and go into different parts of the house. And
that would be awesome.
Find Bruno and all these kind of things. I think it'd be pretty cool, actually. I reckon that would be pretty nice.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I think that would be great.
And I guess one of the main things that I was really, really excited to see was Magic Kingdom is finally bringing back the nighttime parade in Starlight. And it has been, 6-7+ years. Way too long, and I'm really, really surprised that this hasn't happened a lot earlier. But I think the nighttime parade I got excited about. I think it's called Starlight. I just think that's exciting because I mean, Magic Kingdom is best at night, and
absolutely
to bring that back is just absolutely amazing. And all I can say is it's about time. and
you know what? I'm glad that they're not bringing back the electrical parade. I'm really happy they're not, because I'm glad that they've sort of retired that, being like, yep, we're done with the Main Street electrical parade. We're finished. That's in the past. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but bringing something new, I think that's exactly what. Now, that brings me on to a question, because they didn't obviously announce this, with Magic Kingdom having a massive overhaul with everything that's happening, and people are going to stay later because of the parade and the fireworks. I reckon they're going to have to do something to their transportation. They're going to have to add more boats or more docks or more ways to get around, because it's going to be so busy there. I mean, it already can hold like 100,000 guests, and if they're adding so much, like, unless they're going to have to, there's going to have to be some way for them to build more parking, more transportation to get, because it takes a long time to get from the parking lot to the front gates.
No doubt, especially at Magic Kingdom. Yeah, absolutely. I think that has to be in the works, right? I mean, it has to be.
I remember the chaos, like when I was last there 2 years ago. I remember the chaos and all right, it was during fall break, I think you guys call it. So it was busier than when I would normally go at sort of at the end of August, early September, when it's a little bit quieter because the American kids have just gone back to school and stuff like that. Fall break, so it was the parks were a bit more crowded. But I remember coming out of Magic Kingdom, and it was absolutely bedlam trying to get onto the monorail. Like, we were queuing for ages, and yeah, it was just, so now push that up to an even busier time of year, like when, around sort of Christmas, New Year time, or around July 4th or whatever, when the parks are at capacity and stuff like that. And,
right.
And like you say, and there's longer things going on, there's more footfall because they've expanded the capacity of Magic Kingdom with everything they're doing, and it's like you say, then that it is a nightmare trying to get, because it's such a long day anyway. It's exhausting anyway, and then when you leave the park, it's not like a lot of the other parks where you leave and you're walking a couple of 100 yards to get to your car. No, you've got to find your way onto a boat or a monorail. You've got to battle the crowds to then travel back to the ticket and transportation center, and then have a hike to your car then as well, like, or battle to get on a tram, and yeah, it's it's the most magical park without a shadow of a doubt. But my God, it's an Olympic event trying to get there.
It truly is. Yeah, I was
trying to get back to your car.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. It's an adventure, man. Especially when you've got kids. It makes it twice as hard. I was looking in the chat. Kevin's channel was asking, did we get a timeline for the nighttime parade?
I think it's next year.
Yeah,
I want to say it was next year. 2025. Yeah,
2025. I imagine spring, summer. I don't see why they would do it like later in the fall or winter. I would imagine like first part of next year, I would say.
I think it'll be.
Yeah. And then
sorry, go ahead. Sorry, no, go ahead.
No, all good, man. I was just, Real Steven also said, do you think they'll have to push back the fireworks show for the nighttime parade?
They might
that's going to be an interesting dynamic. I'm not really sure how they're going to go about that.
They might go back doing 2 viewings. So
yeah,
back in like 2016, I remember as a cast member, they did the Main Street Electrical Parade, then fireworks, and they did the Main Street Electrical Parade again. But there was also times where, I think even before those years, where they did the parade, then the fireworks, and then they waited till like 11 o'clock and they did the fireworks again. So I think, like they do with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, they do 2 parades, and other events they do 2 nighttime shows. I think they'll have to do 2 of things, because I can't imagine everyone being on Main Street, considering when the Cars area opens, the Villains Land open. No, everyone would be able to fit on Main Street unless they expand Main Street, which I can't see how they would do.
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
So they're gonna have to do more than one showing of
absolutely
the parade or the fireworks.
And that was my thinking. Yeah, I mean, to generate the crowds and to kind of keep the flow of people and the flow of the schedule. They have to, right? They've got to have multiple shows for that, for sure.
So Magic Kingdom, they got Villains Land. They also got, which I thought was quite surprising, this new Cars area replacing Tom Sawyer Island. I did not see that coming.
Frontierland Cars is such a weird mishmash. Like I love Frontierland. I like boarding the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Yes,
I loved. Was it called Chickapin Falls?
Hill,
Chickapin Hill. When it was Splash, it kind of tied in. The way it was with Splash Mountain, it all kind of tied in that Frontierland kind of theme. I know Tiana's is a little bit different, and a few people had issue with that coming into Frontierland because they just didn't feel that that New Orleans kind of thing working in Frontierland. But it's there now, and I've avoided anything to do with Tiana's because I want it to be a complete surprise when I ride it. I'm looking forward to riding it because Splash was one of my favorite attractions ever. So I'm hoping that I trust they've done a great job on Tiana's. So, but Cars in Frontierland.
I'm just going to say, if they ever get rid of Big Thunder, I'm going to riot. They better leave that ride alone, please.
I think they will leave it alone. I think they'll.
Okay,
I honestly feel that
there's no way, right?
let's be real here. How many people, how many guests per day realistically go to Tom Sawyer Island? 5%.
I think, like, I was thinking about this the other day, yesterday maybe, and I think I've been on Tom Sawyer's Island a couple of times, but I'm going back probably in the 1990s, maybe at the latest 2001 when I last went onto Tom Sawyer's Island.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the problem is that
it's just space that can be used.
It's space that can be used, but also I understand that it's Walt Disney World, history and whatever. But the problem is, one, Walt Disney always said that the parts will never be complete and they're going to have to change things. And actually changing, I was quite confused at first by this whole Frontier Cars area, but actually when you think about it, what the designs look like, it does look like you are going into this great frontier of the Midwest, but in a modern day car-like setting. And I think it's keeping the heritage of the great frontier, but bringing that IP and bringing that modern touch and using the space. I think this is such a... And who doesn't want a Radiator Springs-like ride in Magic Kingdom? We need more roller coasters. We need more rides because it's going to get more and more crowded. And I think it's such a great idea. But now, how they're going to do it, I don't know. But I think it's a good idea.
No, it should be pointed out here. Jack brought up a good point on DSNY newscast. Jack mentioned that the images, the initial images, or the initial thought of what the ride system might be is a bit like the one that they have for the Cars ride in, I think, California Adventure, which is a bit like the test track.
Yeah,
a bit like test track. Now, the thing is, in California, that works because it pretty much never rains there. Not very often. Like, not as much as it does in Florida. Nowhere near as much as it does in Florida.
Exactly.
Whereas in Florida, if it's absolutely chucking bricks down, then I think test track closes
it does.
For the inclement weather, just because of the outdoor section bit. Yep. Now, this is not going to be an indoor attraction that if you're using the Great Frontier, like you say, this is not going to be an indoor attraction. So this could be, an idea to kind of increase capacity with this new attraction, the two new attractions, because there's one for the kids and families and stuff, but there's this, this other one, which if it's test track technology, how often is that going to be running? With the inclement weather and stuff like that.
Especially during the summer months when there's torrential downpours at all hours of the day. It could be sunny 1 minute and then 8 minutes later it's downpours. It's just how it is. Yeah. So in that regard, I agree with that. And as far as what you were saying, Dan, I think the aesthetic of Cars Land does fit into Frontierland. And Tom Sawyer Island, is great. It's very well themed. This is kind of like one of those where you're walking in Frontierland and you kind of see it off, and you're like, oh, that looks cool. But you don't see too many people really flock to it. But
I mean, again, suits better. It suits better than the Princess and the Frog, which isn't even set in the Great Frontier.
Agreed. Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think. I haven't been on Tiana's. I mean, it's Splash Mountain, but obviously not set in the Great Frontier. So, but even just theming alone, this Cars themed area attraction fits better, I think. Personally,
I agree with that for sure. And I mean, again, there's I was reading today, there was a lot of upset people about the removal of Tom Sawyer Island and the Rivers of America.
They did the same thing.
Yeah, Pam just said in the chat she's sad. Steven said he said.
I'm sorry, but I get it. People get I feel sad for Wishes going away for the nighttime show, but Disney does these changes. Like I missed the Country Bear Jamboree, but and people lost their mind for Maelstrom in Epcot. I don't know why. It was about trolls and things. And I think Frozen Ever After is one of the best rides at Epcot anyway.
I loved Maelstrom. I'm sorry. I loved it. It was so cheesy. It was good.
Maelstrom was about Norway, though. Maelstrom was about Norway and Norwegian...
And the Norwegian troll folklore.
Norwegian folklore and legend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Frozen is about a make-believe land that's kind of based loosely around Norway, but isn't actually Norway. Arendelle is not Norway. So
he makes a good argument on that. I'm
going to counter the argument. Could you arguably say that Maelstrom became more popular after they announced the closure of it before it was announced?
I would agree with that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I would agree with that 100%, no doubt. Because Maelstrom was not the most popular ride, and it was good. It was a nice little boat ride and everything. But when Disney announces they're closing the ride, it's like all of a sudden everybody just, oh my god, we got to ride it. Oh my goodness!
I think
it becomes way more. It becomes like way more relevant all of a sudden. So
Disney has a track record. Disney has a track record of replacing one attraction with another and ruining it somehow. Like, not for everything. It's fair to say not for everything, but I mean, let's look at the many incarnations of imagination over the years and which one was the best one. Everyone says the first one. So
I mean, people are absolutely gutted when Primeval Hell got taken away.
Man, I don't know who would be gutted.
I don't know
by that.
I mean, it got gutted.
But
I don't know many
there's people out
but
there that I'm sure were pretty gutted when that went away.
I
was not one of them.
No, neither was I. Should we leave Villains Land till Rob gets back?
We'll leave that one for Rob. The one that
go ahead.
Well, yeah, because obviously you asked Mike what he was looking forward to.
I was just going to go around the parks, but yeah, let's.
Oh, okay. No, we can do that then. We can do that. Yeah, let's go around the parks.
So Epcot, there was nothing.
Well, there was.
So it was the they have
the
lounge, the Spaceship Earth lounge. I'm a huge fan of lounges, taverns. I think the Epcot, the Spaceship Earth lounge is a great addition. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know a whole lot of details. We saw, they have the concept art of what it could look like, but I'm excited. I'm excited about that. So,
and speaking of the lounges and the concept art, the concept art was dropped for the Pirates Tavern
that as
Magic
well.
Kingdom, and that looks really good.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good with the concept art. So,
my only worry about this Epcot Spaceship Earth lounge is I hope they actually do it justice, unlike what they said about the connections area, where they opened up connections like this is going to be an area full of festival booths and places where you can go and try new things and be part of the festival, and it just is pretty much Interventions 2.0, and it's just a sitting area. So I hope they carry on with this Spaceship Earth lounge.
The Spaceship Earth lounge is meant to have like really good views of like World Showcase Lagoon and
then I hope that that actually happens. But I mean, Epcot, though it's had a massive change, I hope they fulfill what they promised with the Spaceship Earth lounge and not end up like an Interventions 2.0.
Yeah,
I agree. I just think it'd be a nice place to like go and have a drink and just. Yeah. I'm sure there's awesome views, like you were saying, just to sit down and have a drink.
You could have a fishbowl out of Spaceship Earth. Like you could all sit around a miniature Spaceship Earth and drink something else. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be amazing. No doubt. Cool. I was definitely excited about the taverns. So I'm assuming going back to
I wasn't expecting anything else to be at Epcot because they've it was a celebration when the walls finally came down like a couple of months ago. So they were never going to go, right, we've just finally got rid of Walcott for the first time since 2018 or whatever it was. Like, we're now going to bring back Walcott. Like, they were never going to do that. So it's
the only other thing I would have guessed is if they brought in an update for Journey into Imagination. That's the only thing I would have expected.
I think people would have lost their mind for that. I'm expecting. I'm hoping maybe they do something like that in 2 years' time. Like, if they need another big D23 announcement. But because obviously it was great last year when they announced the meet and greet with Figment. It's just they now need to give Figment. I mean, Figment is so beloved at Epcot. He has become the Epcot mascot essentially. Like over the years, but he now needs a ride befitting of him, and the current incarnation of Imagination is not the one. It's just not the one at all, because it's a shambles compared to the one that it used to be with the Dreamfinder. So
it's definitely a shell of its former self.
Yeah, and they sometimes pay homage to that. Like you sometimes see Disney will throw out some sort of video or even occasionally, like, if there's a big event going on, they'll sometimes have a Dreamfinder, walk out and appear, and it's just kind of like, all right, if you're going to pay nods back to that, how about you just kind of restore Imagination to its former glory, So there's a big hankering and a lot of nostalgia and people crying out for Epcot of old. You're never going to get that with a lot of the rides that have gone. I know they're looking at Test Track and paying a bit of
Horizons
and
is
stuff.
going to get a bit of
Horizons and stuff. But yeah, at least with imagination, do the right thing. That's just my feeling.
Agreed.
So yeah.
So Hollywood Studios, I called it last week. Didn't I call it last week with the Monsters Inc. roller coaster?
There's been rumor of a Monsters Inc. roller coaster for years. It's just I don't think anyone saw this one coming. Like with the announcement, I don't think anyone saw them announcing it all of a sudden at D23 this year. Like that's the one that, with the exception of Villains Land, which we're going to come back to, that was the announcement that I was most excited for. I think, like, you know, the as long as it doesn't impact on Rock and Roller, which I think is gonna go at some point. Like, you know, they've only got a contract with Aerosmith for so long. Aerosmith have just announced that they're
about to pull out,
retiring.
Yeah.
Well, they've just announced last week or the week before that they're retiring and no longer touring because Steven's voice just can't. You know, he's struggling at the moment. So
where's this land going to be?
I was going to say, I almost wonder if the Monsters Inc. roller coaster is actually going to replace Rock and Roller Coaster. You know, I wonder.
It may well do, and I'll be furious if it does.
Exactly.
It also wouldn't surprise me. I love Rock and Roller Coaster. They had it in Paris as well, and that's already gone now because they made that into part of the Avengers Campus sort of area. So it wouldn't surprise me. Like I say, the contract's going to come up with Aerosmith, and Aerosmith no longer being a touring band. It kind of loses its relevance if they're, hey, we're heading off to a show, jump in a limo with us. You know what I mean? But
shall I tell you why
it's for the attraction.
Why I think it's not going to be there. I'll tell you why. Now, if you look,
I know Jack doesn't think it's going to be there as well.
I don't think it's going to be there. I haven't seen Jack's video because I'm not subscribed to him. But I don't think it's going to be there purely because, from what it looks like from the concept art, it's a hanging roller coaster, like you see a lot in the UK with like Nemesis and all that.
Yep.
To put that into the Rock and Roller Coaster building, they're gonna have to gut the whole thing out
completely.
And that's my wife.
Hey, Hannah.
We're gonna have to gut the whole thing out. They're saying hello and goodbye.
Hello, goodbye.
They're gonna have to gut the whole building out, okay, and they're gonna have to start from scratch, which will take a couple of years, I reckon, because it's not just the ride itself; it's the pre-shows, the post-shows, the music, like everything. So
the whole facade of the ride as well. Yeah,
I have two options where I think this is going to be. I think number one, they could put it past Toy Story Land because there's actually a huge amount of space behind that, and it will sit within the Pixar theming.
Yeah,
there's a huge amount of space back there because a lot of staff parking, I believe, is back there as well. Or the other option I think it might be, and I hate to say this, but I think we might see the end of Muppet Courtyard.
Possibly.
Because that's a huge space.
It is a very big space.
It's a big space, and they can easily build upon that further again from backstage because there's a lot of room back there as well because there's a lot of space where they keep a lot of the Indiana Jones props and things. So I would say there is quite likely, but I wouldn't put it past them if they put it near Toy Story Land. But I don't think it's going to be over near Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, I think Jack kind of suggested two places. I think one of them was the sort of what's it called, the animation courtyard. Yeah. So, but if you went animation courtyard, that would almost certainly go back and impact on Rock and Roller. But the other one he suggested was he did say possibly impacted on Muppets, like you said, and also Star Tours.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which again I think would be like, I love the theming on Star Tours. It's the one sad thing is Star Tours now sits outside of Galaxy's Edge. You know, you've built a whole land dedicated to Star Wars now, but Star Tours is just completely on its own, separate from that. Not far away, granted. Like, you know, you can walk between them in a few minutes, but if they did away with Star Tours to build Monsters Inc. land around there and the Muppet Courtyard area, I would hope they would find a way to do a new version of Star Tours.
See, I think
in Galaxy's Edge somewhere.
I think that's the reason why we got that announcement with Mando and Grogu going into Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, because I believe this is going to be hopefully a test that if they did close Star Tours. Now, I'm not a big Star Tours fan anyway. I actually prefer the queue and the pre-show much more than the ride itself.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
If they did close Star Tours, I feel that they can use the technology that they can with all these different scenes and fly your own story in the Millennium Falcon than on this Star Speeder 2000 thing. I generally feel that this is a practice with this Mando and Grogu thing to get an idea of actually we can tell hundreds and hundreds of stories on the Millennium Falcon. That's what I feel might happen.
Yeah. And if they went that route, cool. I think it would be very successful.
Hey,
there he is.
Hey. Anyway, it's been a great stream, everyone. Thanks for coming. And
toodles.
I'm excited they're doing another movie for when they first announced that, I thought it was going to be part of the Star Tours like they always do, but I was really excited that they're doing the Millennium Falcon. So.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Good.
Like you say, I think it would be great if you could turn Millennium Falcon and Smugglers into a sort of fly your own story kind of thing, So yeah, that would be great if they could do something like that.
You remember the scene in Empire Strikes Back where they're stuck in the worm thing, and all the sticky bat things are on like the screen and everything. I'm not gonna lie, that would be such a cool thing to do.
That'd be a cool effect.
fly awesome. Out of the worm in Empire Strikes Back. That'd be wicked.
Good stuff.
Nice. Yeah. No, that would be cool. That would be very cool. So, Rob, I don't know if you've been listening along. I know you've been busy for the last
I had to take a
minutes
call,
or so.
I did not.
No. Yes, I made your apologies for you and said that you were busy. So
it's because he's talking to Bob Iger. That's why.
Yeah, he's giving him his thoughts. Yeah,
he's giving him his thoughts.
But we've been going around the parks. We started with Magic Kingdom, but we haven't gone with the big bit of news yet. So
big ones.
So we've discussed obviously the Cars Frontierland thing and the fact that it looks like it's going to replace Tom Sawyer, and generally I think the consensus in the chat from a few people, from Stephen, from Pam, they're sad that Tom Sawyer's is going to go. I know a couple of other people said Tom Sawyer's is a kind of one and done kind of thing, but like Dan was saying, the idea of Cars, in sort of an IP and a modern day twist on the old frontier, is kind of an exciting thing. It just depends on the ride technology. So what was your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I love Cars Land in Disneyland. Just seeing it and just seeing the ride on the stream and everything. And I love just the Cars Land and, in the park. So it just kind of seems like you said, it is going to take the Rivers of America. I think they put new artwork out today. Again, what are we losing for something new? It just seems like it's
and this is
just plopped right in the middle of the park. It's just bizarre, but I don't know.
And this is the thing we're talking about as well, where you've just joined us, is what are we potentially losing for Monsters Inc. Land? And I know you've had your suspicions on where it might go, and Dan's just been putting up a counter argument to it not replacing Rock and Roller, which I know you said off stream, is where you're thinking of it might be.
Not,
but and we're talking about the possibility of it maybe going either behind Toy Story Land because there's some space back there, or potentially replacing Muppets Courtyard and or Star Tours.
Yeah, well, I was watching, I think Ron on the Go was watching another streamer. I don't remember who the other one was, but just watching the chat as they announce stuff. It's just people panicking, like, no, not the Muppets. No, not this, not that, not anime, animation Courtyard or whatever. But they're, unfortunately, like I saw a couple people on Twitter and stuff, and it just seems like the artwork looks like Rock and Roller Coaster, and then the other building where the Cars show is, they could move the Cars show over to, I guess, Magic Kingdom, or just get rid of it and just overlay it with a Monsters show or something.
Yeah.
Well, they already have a Monsters.
They got a laugh floor, yeah.
So I don't know. It's just weird. It's bizarre. I don't know. The thing that really, I feel the strangest thing out of everything, Still Stitch still sits vacant. Nothing announced for that.
That's a head scratcher.
Just weird.
There was a rumor I read about that several years back to where Wreck-It Ralph could replace that, which I thought was a really cool concept because you could do a lot with that. And but yeah, just it's mind-boggling why it still sits. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't think there's a huge amount of I don't think there's a huge amount of space in that Stitch building anyway.
There's
you'd have to. I don't know how much you can actually do in there anyway, because it backs off to the Star Traders gift shop.
Yeah.
So really, it's not that big. So they would have to do like
it's not a massive pavilion, is it? Like a pavilion, space, like So it's you could do something in there, but it wouldn't be huge. It wouldn't. Yeah. I mean. It's just the fact that they never open it anymore. Like they never open it. I think haven't they kept it as something that they can open on a super crowded day, like a
often it's like a meet and greet or a Halloween trick or treat spot or a just some space for people.
They sold merch in there for some stuff. But
I actually really enjoyed the previous attraction there, the old alien encounter. I really enjoyed that.
I love it.
I loved that so much. It's a shame it went away. Yeah. But you coming to Disney World for the first time and riding that as a 10-year-old like I did, it's quite the experience. So it was great.
So, should we jump back to Magic Kingdom or should we go over to Animal Kingdom?
You guys could do whatever you want. So, you didn't talk about the big announcement?
We waited for you.
We waited for you.
Let's go to Animal Kingdom. We'll come to the final thing. So
Animal Kingdom. Obviously, there was a couple of things, and we knew about both of them in that they had been rumored. So obviously the Tree of Life show going from It's Tough to Be a Bug over to Zootopia or Zootropolis if you're British, because
winter 2025. But that could be
winter 2025,
January, February, March, or it could be next end of the year. Winter.
Yeah, November. Yeah.
Very
so vague on that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's I like Zootopia as a movie. I think it's got some great characters and stuff like that. I just think Tough to Be a Bug was perfect for the Tree of Life. The idea of bugs living in the tree and the tree bark, and whatever.
It literally was the inside of a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I wish that they'd just revamped that show. I did think there was problems with the show, and I'm not talking about some of the animatronics on the outside that sometimes like Hopper didn't show up and things like that, but also the one thing I did notice was bearing in mind it's a family friendly fun place, you got little kids there and stuff like that. The amount of children that got scared of either the spiders coming down from the ceiling or the things poking you in the back, and would run out crying or have parents having to carry them out crying halfway through the show. Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many kids get so upset while watching that show that it maybe needed a bit of a rethink.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think changing it to Zootopia was the one. I think, if they just done up It's Tough to Be a Bug and kept the same sort of movie, but just a movie idea and maybe just kind of did a bit of a new show. That's what I would have preferred personally, but I don't know what your guys' thoughts is.
The thing is, a bug, It's Tough to Be a Bug. I agree with you. It's really great. It's a great show. Hey Walt. It's a great show, but the problem is only kids don't know about A Bug's Life. It has, if you rewatch the film, it's a great film, but it's not aged well. Like it's 1998. You ask a kid nowadays, have you seen A Bug's Life? They're probably going to go, no. They're probably never going to hear it before, like Flick and Hopper and all these characters. They're not going to know who these characters are. I think it's time for a change. And unless they do A Bug's Life 2, which they actually hinted in like a blooper in Toy Story 2 at the end of the movie, but it never happened. And I just feel like Zootopia was such a good hit and such more of a, especially as we're getting the second Zootopia film, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
I think it's time for a change as much as I don't want to see, I don't know. I do want to see it, but I don't. If they could just have both films, then I'll be fine.
Yeah. See, Walt's just said what I was saying about bugs living under the tree makes sense. Zootopia under the tree, synergy is missing. Yeah. So yeah.
I was reading a comment by
trees.
I was reading a comment by Simon Rogers earlier when Adam was talking about like the kids screaming and crying. He said, "I thought that was part of the fun, Adam," because it's Simon, so true. Yeah. It never fails. You can go on that show 100 times straight, and you'll always hear kids just screaming. There's always a select few kids screaming.
Last time I went,
we were nervous with Elena when we took her, and she loved it.
How good?
Well, I say she loved it, meaning she didn't scream and cry. So. Doesn't mean she hated it.
I did that 2 years ago.
I mean, there's ways of trying to appease the kids, and like if they're younger kids, you sit them on your lap. They're not going to get poked in the back for starters, and jump up crying about that. You know, and,
you could still poke them in the back.
I mean, you could.
You could. That's awesome.
As the spiders come down, shriek. It bit me.
I love Zootopia. I love Bug's Life, but that's one of the things we didn't do. I wanted to go. Frankie didn't want to go. My kids didn't want to go, so we skipped it, and I was a little bummed. But now I'm really bummed because it's going away. But it is what it is. I think Zootopia is more of an appeal. So
we spoke about Encanto, Indiana Jones. I really hope they don't do anything from the film or take the same theme as California. I hope it's a brand new story.
They've confirmed it's a brand new story. It is going to be. Now I know, Mike, you mentioned this when we were chatting yesterday, and you kind of queried, because we've said sometimes Disney Imagineering seems to have got muddled a little bit. There was
definitely
there was the Great Movie Ride getting replaced at the Studios Park by a ride that probably fitted better in Magic Kingdom.
Absolutely,
and then there was a Moana thing at Epcot, which possibly maybe would have made sense to go to Animal Kingdom, and there's a few things that Disney Imagineering's just they've looked like 3 a.m. in the morning decisions, like sort of where it's just got a little bit confused. And seems I know you kind of said, what does Indiana Jones have to do with animals? Now I believe that the storyline is going to sound a little bit familiar to you, and I've only kind of half heard a bit of this, so I don't know the full ins and outs, but I believe the storyline it's going to be a whole new Indiana Jones storyline where he is looking for some sort of animal. Now, whether that means he's going to be riding around with his whip going, not our dino, not our dino. And hey, Elena.
Hey, Elena.
Hey, Elena. But, oh, hey, darling. But so basically it sounds like Indiana Jones is a new storyline looking for some sort of animal, and that's how it ties in with Animal Kingdom. Is what I'm.
I guess if they're looking for an animal, I guess it technically ties in at that point, right?
Yeah. We'll get around it by doing this.
Hey, we'll throw this at the wall and see if that sticks. And
Hey, Jen.
She just likes being on.
Yeah,
too cute.
She does. She's a ham.
Such a cute smile.
We've had all the cameos today.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Dylan, my man. Let's go.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Say hi.
Hi.
So, I know you're bummed about Dinosaur going, Mike.
Yeah, I'm bummed. It was that ride has a special place for me, and I loved dinosaurs growing up, and the Jurassic Park films blew my mind, and then the Jurassic Park River Adventure was amazing, and then the dinosaur ride at Animal Kingdom just kind of tied it all in. My love for dinosaurs and stuff. So, although not everybody fully loves it for various reasons, I love it, and I'm sad to see it go. But has some good memories on it. The last trip that we went on, I rode it with Dylan, and we were in the front row. I got a picture hanging over here on the wall of that ride.
That's awesome.
It was me and Dylan, and then the two people next to us were doing the dab. It was perfect.
Nice.
So I was like, I have to buy that. But yeah, I'm sad to see it go. Like I said, I know not everybody loved it, but I did. It was great.
I love it too.
And he's gone.
And they're gone.
Where's Mike gone?
I guess he's taking care of Elena.
You know,
I love it too, but it was inevitable. They've talked about replacing that ride with Indiana Jones forever. Oh, it's the same. It's the same footprint.
I'm glad they're not.
It's so bizarre. It's the same footprint, but they're not even going to put the same ride there.
You know what I would love to see, and actually, I wish Mike was here for this. I wish that in the pre-show for this new Indiana Jones ride. No, this is not a Dan rant. This is not even a Dan theory. This is just a Dan thing, right? As an homage to Dinosaur, we get Harrison Ford, and we get what's his name? Ke Huy Quan, who plays Short
Ke Huy Quan. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would love him to cameo as Short Round, and in the pre-show, him just go, "Hello there," as a little homage to Dinosaur, Short Round, Indiana Jones. I think that would be so good, and it would because I'm a big dinosaur fan. I love Dinosaur. It's one of my favorite rides. But yes, I think it would be so good to have an homage like that with the most famous 2 words from that ride, or apart from "Let's go get that dino."
What a little stuff.
Or not our dino, not our dino.
Not our dino. Come on, Dan. That's our
hello there.
Hello there.
Yes.
So yeah, that would be very, very cool. Now, speaking of Indiana Jones, and just going back to studios, Walt's just made an interesting point about he would like to see Monsters Inc. land replacing the Indiana Jones stunt show and take up some of the parking lot at the front. So, what do you think of that? Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, Walt thinks the show needs to go. I still like that show. It's never changed in like 30 odd years, but I think it's a great show.
I agree. I do like it a lot.
Yeah.
I would agree with Walt, but I just don't think it will happen. I don't think they would get rid of the show. I think it really.
It's a crowd eater.
It's a crowd eater.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's definitely a crowd eater. Yeah.
And it really reminds everyone of what MGM used to be. I can't see it going away. They might do an update to it. I think they should do a big update to it, but I don't think.
You guys talked about the other attraction in that land?
In Canto, we did speak about what I thought the ride vehicle might be. I don't know, Rob, if you saw on the attraction floor. No, not the attraction floor, the D23 floor. There was some technology from Imagineering where the chairs, just simple chairs, just moved rather than just a whole ride vehicle.
Last year too. Very cool.
It was really cool, and I think they might incorporate that in this show. In this I don't know. I don't know what, but I think it would be a good.
It's interesting because you look at that artwork there, that concept art, and it could be anything. It could be a boat. It could be some sort of trackless system, like we said before. It could be. I
got boat ride vibes from that for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
it'd be awesome.
I mean, it's meant to be moving furniture, but like it's so the way they've animated that, it could be 3 different things, or it could be 1 cart, it could be 1 boat, it could be absolutely anything. If it's supposed to be moving furniture, I'd love to see them employ some sort of technology that they've not used before. So like instead of a trackless thing like Ratatouille or something like that, I would love to see them employ some of the technology that Universal uses. So if you think of like the moving things on the Forbidden Journey ride, for Harry Potter and stuff like that, like that would be fun if you had furniture that moved around like that, went everywhere maybe. But
that's coming to Disneyland.
Is it
with the Stark?
Oh, with the Stark.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the concept art showed I think it's called like the KUKA robot arm, KUKA technology or whatever.
Yeah. Stark is the Stark lab ride, which
I also think they're utilizing that same technology at Epic Universe on the Monsters ride, and the Dark Universe, the same kind of thing. So, there it is. Yeah,
Flight Lab. That's it.
It's kind of like the Harry Potter ride, like that.
Yeah, same technology.
I mean, we can speak a lot about everything coming to Disneyland with the Avengers Campus expanding and this new ride, Infinity Defense, and there's so much that they're bringing to every park. Like every park around the world is gaining something, which is amazing to hear. And 4 new cruise ships as well.
The cruise ships by like what 2029 or something. They're going to have incorporate 4.
They're taking over the sea as well. Yeah.
Real quick though, before we move on from Encanto, I think it's going to be in true Disney fashion. And I don't mind this because Mystic Manor is one of the rides I really want to ride. I have a feeling it's going to be and I don't know if you guys ever watched I'm sure you did the videos on Mystic Manor. I think it's going to be cool. It's like so magical, and I think hopefully it's going to be that. I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, Mystic Manor looks amazing. I've seen videos.
Mystic Manor just picked up and then used the skin of Mystic Manor. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
I agree with you guys. So.
No doubt. So I was going to ask you guys, and I guess the chat.
And a Ferris wheel too, by the way.
Do you guys think
like no one really cared about that? But.
Yeah. Do you guys think that Disney did enough to answer the Epic Universe news, or
I think they smashed it out of the park, to be honest.
Yeah,
they completely. I mean, we haven't got into the last thing we're going to talk about, but I think with everything that they're bringing in, I think to be honest, looking at Epic Universe, it does look amazing. But now seeing all these announcements, I think Disney are going to bite back a lot stronger than we even think right now. So.
I'm not 100% convinced on that yet. Like I'm still. I think for me the jury's still out a little bit. Like they announced some intriguing stuff, some stuff that I'm intrigued to see how it's going to work out, like the Cars stuff. There's some stuff that I'm excited about, like the Monsters Inc. stuff. Some stuff that I'm a bit kind of like skeptical about, like the Zootopia. Replacing Bug's Life, Tough to Be a Bug thing. Maybe not skeptical. It's just a bit of a, I'll miss It's Tough to Be a Bug. I think a lot of people are going to miss Tom Sawyer's Island, like we say. So I don't know if Disney necessarily smashed it out the park, but there's a lot to be excited about. That's what I will say. But the jury's out for me. I'll know how I feel more once I've experienced Epic Universe, I guess, or once I've seen a lot more of Epic Universe.
I just hope Disney doesn't take 10 years to build some of these attractions and lands.
Well, the one good thing that they said about D23 with all of their announcements, they said none of this is blue sky. Everything is already in active development. Yeah, it's already in active development. So a lot of the stuff they announced is coming 2025, 2026, 2027 at the latest. So which is really exciting. I'm not putting a downer on it, Dan. I'm not disagreeing with what you say. I think it's just that the jury's out for me. It's like they've announced a lot, but I still don't think it's as big as the 2017 announcements when they announced all the stuff then. So
I'm kind of with you on that. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Adam. I think they've made a lot of good, exciting announcements. I'm just not there yet to really fully say, oh, well, they completely just countered Epic Universe, and because let's face it, I mean, when Epic gets built next year, it's going to be a single point of destination for a lot of families. Now, you're going to be able to go there for a full week or more. Heck, I know a lot of people do it now anyway without Epic being there, but it's really going to be a game changer. It's a really good thing to happen for us theme park fans. It's a good little battle, because it's good for us.
Competition is good.
Competition is
good
for us theme park fans.
It's not just for us. It's good for both sides. It's good for everybody.
I think that's what I'm most excited about is just the competition and these companies trying to outdo each other. And, it's good. Again, it's good for us. So
it's good.
Yeah, because they're always gonna recreate and innovate. So because they want to bring the next exciting thing in that's going to bring the crowds in. So
at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for us as the fans, as the park goers. It's a win-win for the companies because they're going to build money and make money no matter if you go to Universal or Disney. And it's a win-win for the people who go to work for the company because it's more jobs and more people who can make a living. right? It's
No
good
doubt.
across the board, and I think this is a great thing. But I'm very, very happy to see all the new ideas. But we've obviously saved one for last.
Sure
The
have.
cruise ships.
Yes. Can I do my Dan? Can I do my Dan rant now?
Sure, buddy. Knock yourself
Go on,
out. Go
Daniel.
for it, man.
Okay, listen. Right, this is how it's going to. This is how it's going to work. As we know, Disney Villain Land is what everybody has been talking about for the last 4, 5, 6, however many years. People thought it was going to be this fifth gate, fifth park, but I am actually quite glad they're moving it into Magic Kingdom. Actually, Rob, do you mind putting the picture back up? There we go. So here's my rant. If it's going to be a Disney Villains Land, it cannot personally be everything like we see on the screen right now. This looks very Maleficent heavy themed. If it's going to be a Villains Land, it needs to incorporate not just our typical villains like Maleficent, the Evil Queen, Ursula, Jafar. It needs to be all of the really big, scary villains. We need Chernabog. We need the Headless Horseman. We need Hades. We need Frollo. We need Pete. Pete is still a villain, but he's maybe not a dark. But if this is going to be a villain's land, it needs to be every type of villain. We need even villains just walking around who aren't big villains, but villains nonetheless. We need someone like a Madame Medusa from The Rescuers. We need a Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. These characters need to be just walking around in the parks. We need, and I'm advocating this, a Jasper and Horace from the 101 Dalmatians. Those burglars who helped Cruella de Vil? We need them walking around, nicking people's, Pluto plushes and things. It would be so good, but they can't just rely on it being a Maleficent-themed land. If they do a ride based around Maleficent, incorporating all the villains, fine, I get it. But they need to have Cruella de Vil's mansion. They need to have the Hades's underworld. We need Ursula's little cave. We need, so many different areas. If they're really going to expand this, they need to bring in theming from every villain, not just one or two. That's my.
I think the left-hand side looks of that picture looks, from the center down across the left looks very, very Maleficent heavy. Although that raven closest to the front, I'm wondering if that's possibly the evil. Isn't there a raven in Snow White? Am I remembering that correctly? So,
they have. She has a pet raven. There's also a castle in the right as well. On the right,
the castle in the right is piquing my interest because I'm not sure what that's meant to be from. I'm not sure whether that's supposed to be from a specific thing, but I don't think that's Maleficent based. So I'm quite intrigued as to what that's meant to be on the right. Again, it's all concept art at the moment, but I believe they have broken ground on this already. So
the concept art looks kind of like Dark Universe from Epic.
It kind of does,
Disney. Yeah, I think Disney already knew about the Dark Universe thing that was happening, and they were like, right, what's better than old classic Frankenstein villains, Disney villains? And
I thought they also saw. I think they probably also saw the reaction to Dark Universe because Dark Universe popped when it was kind of announced and stuff like that. So I think they've toyed with this idea for a long time, and it almost gave them the we know we're doing the right thing here because of the clamor that there's been as well for a lot of Disney fans to have this.
You can see. I don't know if it's me, but on the left-hand side behind the Raven, there's Maleficent Dragon, and to the left of the dragon, I don't know about you, but that kind of looks like a roller coaster track.
A roller coaster track.
Like a top hat or something, like a top hat.
You know what
almost looks a bit Nemesis.
What that roller coaster is? It's the roller coaster from Rock and Roller Coaster that they're going to put it there, and then they're going to put the roller coaster.
It's the Cars Frontier ride, dude. That's get the right part.
Cars Frontier. Yeah, that's it.
No.
But
no.
but yeah. What do you think, Rob? Yeah, I think it's really exciting news. Like
that roller coaster. So I don't know. Yeah, who knows? There could be a zillion things here. Everything Dan said, I agree. Where are they putting it though? That is my question.
That's going behind
Beyond Big Thunder.
Frontier, behind Frontier.
Beyond Big Thunder. This is the Beyond Big Thunder project that they've talked about for a long time.
All day long, I would say that. Now that they're putting that Cars Land right there, it's going to be Cars Land, Big Thunder, and then Villain. It doesn't make sense. Like,
well, Cars isn't going to be its own land; it's going to still be part of Frontierland.
Understood
that.
Understood. Well, I don't. Do you think they're still going to call it Frontierland? I guess they are. I guess they said they were. Who knows? There's a lot of question marks. My thing is, it would be great to the left of Big Thunder and Tiana's, but they're going to get rid of the whole waterway and everything. Haunted Mansion's here. Why not just put it in the back? Like that's my thought.
I feel like it will extend by there anyway. I think this is going to be a huge land, and they're going to do how. Again, I get how you feel about sort of how Frontierland going into Villains Land, but you could say the thing about Tomorrowland going into Fantasyland. Like they managed to make that work. I think they're very good at transitioning from area to area. I don't know how they're going to do that. I mean, the first time I walked from the area where Muppets is into Galaxy's Edge, like that is a completely different vibe. Same going into Toy Story Land. I think they have no issue with going from themed area to themed area. But I think this land, fingers crossed, I hope this land is as big as Fantasyland because I think it needs to be.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I was going to say, I know they said there's going to be 2 attractions, right? You got to think there's going to be one kind of thrilling attraction. They're going to have one probably like family friendly.
Yeah.
And I feel like they got to have some sort of villain stage show. I know we have Fantasmic, right, and studios, but I just feel like if they do not have some sort of villain show or something in that land, it's going to be a little bit of a letdown. But I don't know. We'll see. In my mind, I feel like you got to have some sort of villains show or something.
What villain would everyone want to see? Like what would be your favorite villain to see
there? All of them.
Yeah,
just about all of them. I mean,
because Dismom's in the chat, I would love to see Eeyore in there. That's a
Tinkerbell.
That's a running joke from yesterday.
Mickey Bunch says Tink is a villain, so yeah.
Well, Tinkerbell is a villain in the Peter Pan film. She does try to kill Wendy.
John.
Miss you.
Hey, Richard. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you for my
a few people in the chat have just mentioned Tink, by the way. Sorry, Rob.
It's all right. No, I just was thinking John's being a member for 51 months. That's awesome. And I thought I see
amazing.
Movie Media Nick joined today too. Thank you so much for my awesome members. Giving them a shout out. So sorry about that.
No.
I love it. It's so ironic though, because it went on fire and it doesn't really, breathe fire or anything anymore. But in the picture, it looks like it's breathing something. So I don't know.
I would love to see a Hades themed area where you would be accidentally killed or taken down to the underworld, and you're going through this sort of area, especially if the new show is coming out. You've got Pain and Panic there. Hades played by what's his name? He's often in Family Guy. James Woods. James Woods coming back as the voice. I think it'd be great. I'd love to see that. That'd be brilliant.
I would like to see Scar and the Hyenas.
Yeah, I was going to say Scar kind of popped in my head when he was asking about villains. Yeah, Scar and the Hyenas. Yeah,
maybe Dr. Facilier would be
Gaston too. You could throw him in.
It's not in the ride.
Gaston
would be awesome. Yeah, 100%.
He's got his own area.
You need to have a restaurant too. They got to have some sort of cool restaurant.
Gaston has his own area though, doesn't he? In Fantasyland.
He does, but you can still plug him into Villain's Land for
maybe he can go for a stroll.
Yeah, go for a stroll. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would love to see the Star of Control Hopper be part of the land too. So that
that could work. I think we can get on board.
What about? I'm throwing the boat out here. Does it have to be animated? Can we have something like a Davy Jones or like a villain from a Disney live action film, not from the remakes, but from like Disney animated, first Disney live action history? like a Davy Jones or something.
No, I think Davy Jones would be great. I think that'd be a great call. That'd be a good call.
Chernobog would be awesome too.
Chernobog would be cool.
Very cool. Of course, you're gonna have Captain Hook. You know the
Hook
the
and all
Queen, Scar. They're gonna have everyone. I'm looking at the list of all the different villains. So here's my prediction, which is gonna be cool. Sorry, Dan, to interrupt you. Remember how Pleasure Island did New Year's Eve every night? They're gonna do Halloween every night. Here's a prediction. And I can't see the possibilities are endless with their Halloween nights and you know, Nightmare Before Christmas too. They could do. They could do
Hocus Pocus. You'd have the Sanderson sisters.
Yep.
Would you stick to just Disney villains, or would you add Pixar villains as well?
I already said.
I would say Disney, Pixar. Yeah, I would say. I mean, Pixar's all over the parks anyway, so I'd say why not? I think you have
what's
to.
What's a good Pixar villain?
Lotso the Hugging Bear.
What's his name? Why can't I remember his name?
That's terrifying.
But come on, Lotso, old dirty and stuff, walking down the street like with grease on him and stuff. That'd be
the kid who lives next door in Toy Story 1.
Sid.
Yeah,
you gotta have Sid in there.
What about the creepy dolls from Toy Story 4? You know, the one who's
the mannequins, whatever.
Yeah,
not mannequins. The ventriloquism.
I think you're starting to get into Halloween Horror Nights territory there, Dan. But all right, I like where you're going with that. I like it.
Here's the question, boys. When is this going to be open? I think
2027. I reckon.
I said 10 years.
No,
I said maybe 8 years. No way. No way. This is earlier than 5 or 6 years. I was even saying 10 years. I'm gonna settle on 8. There's no way. Like they don't say anything. They didn't say not one thing about it. How long did
2028?
Fantasyland took 5 years, and they didn't do half the stuff that they promised.
What else was missing? Well, there's a lot of.
They didn't in Fantasyland. They didn't do that. They were going to feature everything from every princess. So they were going to have Cinderella Chateau. You're going to have Sleeping Beauty's like hut. You're going to have like lots of different things for all the different princesses. So they didn't do half the stuff anyway. I reckon no less than 5 years. I reckon more 6-7 years possibly.
That seems realistic for me. I mean, they could surprise us. I mean, Universal, they built stuff. It's just like a couple years. It's done. They announced something and it's done.
How long did Epcot take? And they didn't do half the stuff they did.
4 years?
You got to remember there was a pandemic that impacted a lot of that as well. So.
Definitely.
That's true.
And again, they didn't do everything because the connections area, and they didn't do the Epcot, the Spaceship Earth refurbishment. There's a lot of stuff they didn't do.
So what are they promising? 2 rides for the Villains Land?
So Galaxy's Edge,
2 attractions, yeah.
2 attractions.
Galaxy's Edge took just over 6 years from concept to final unveiling. So yeah, maybe 5-6 years then.
Either way, it should be pretty impressive.
When you think about it, though,
said and done.
Yeah, when you think about it, I think Dan's right. I think it is going to be like it's going to hook around. You'll have an entrance from Haunted Mansion.
That's a good pun.
Thank you.
Hook around.
Hook around. Yeah, you'll have an entrance between, to the left of. I was going to call it Splash Mountain, but Tiana's Mountain. There, you enter there.
Tiana's Mountain
all the way back, and it'll just be the back arch, and then obviously the Toy Story's in the middle. Toy Story, wow! The Cars' new land is going to be in the middle. Sorry, guys, my brain's fried. Like you could actually. My thought is though, you could actually do construction. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be weird, just cutting that whole wall out for the Rivers of America. Like, how do you guys feel about that too? Did you guys talk about losing Rivers of America?
I said goodbye, good riddance, to be honest.
Yeah, we briefly talked about it. I'm not upset about it, honestly. I thought it was cool. You just walk by, you're like, oh, look at that. That looks cool over there. It's. I'm not going to miss it, but I know a lot of people like it, so I respect that. So.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've visited Tom Sawyer's Island. So
the problem is the 70s I visited Tom Sawyer's Island.
The only thing I worry is if they're getting rid of that, they're obviously going to have to get rid of the Liberty Boat, which is one less thing in Liberty Square, which means that the only two things you can do in Liberty Square is the Haunted Presidents and the Haunted Mansion. Now, the Haunted Mansion is probably the most loved, one of the most loved rides ever. If they ever touch that, I think they'll be the most unbelievable out. Because they need a land there. They need an area for that to live in. And if they take something like the Liberty Boat out, that's quite... I know it doesn't have a lot of connection, but it's still part of the Liberty Square. And if you're making the Liberty Square smaller, it does worry me a little bit.
Good point. You're taking it from, what, 3 to 2?
It does worry me. I don't know about you, but...
Where was the shooting gallery? That was in Frontierland, right?
That was Frontierland.
Yeah, Frontierland, yeah.
I don't think I ever did that. I've never done that.
No, I didn't do that.
It was free, too. That's the funny thing.
Was it free?
At some point you had to pay for it, but they made it free.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was, to be honest, it was fun. But that's all technology. No one really cared about it. So
Simon's asking, do you think they'd put a new train station into Villains Land? No, I don't think they would. I think you just still get off by I was going to call it Splash Mountain, but by Tiana's Bayou there, like where the
I think there'll be a walkway there going into the Villains area, and I think the other place might be actually the perfect place to put it is over by Gaston's in New Fantasyland.
Yeah,
that could be a great area to expand into Villains Land because it makes sense because Gaston is already there.
Well, you could say goodbye to the train during that whole construction too. So there's no way that's going to be. I don't think
you don't think?
You don't think they have that going?
You think they will build around the train, the Walt Disney World Railroad? They just spent millions rebuilding it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're building around it.
Doesn't matter. I don't know. So with consensus, guys, what do you think? Are you happy with the announcements? Did they do enough to battle Epic Universe?
Dan thinks yes. Jury's still out for me.
Yeah, it's still out for me too. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of good, exciting announcements. I just, obviously, it was a pipe dream for them to announce a fifth gate, but I think the announcements are good.
Yeah, they're good.
Concept
they're exciting.
Art looks good. Because I'm all about like new and exciting things coming into the parks. Not at the expense of certain things, but I don't know that they did enough to really kind of spark me and say, oh yeah, well, yeah, they competed with the Epic Universe announcements, or like, that's going to compete or whatever. I don't know. Overall, again, I think there's a lot of good stuff coming. So I don't know. Jury's still out. So
yeah, same with me. Jury's still out. As it stands for me, I'm looking forward to a new theme park more than 2 new lands in 2 different parks.
Yeah, I agree.
Ultimately, that's what we've got. I mean, a few other things as well. Maybe 3 new lands is probably fair to say because you're talking about Tropical America. No, Cars isn't going to be a land. It's just going to be an increase of capacity to Frontierland. It's not going to be its own land. But the 3 new lands are going to be Tropical America in Animal Kingdom, Monsters Inc. in Studios, and obviously Villains Land. So yeah, okay, 3 new lands across 3 parks. That's exciting, absolutely. I'm not shunning that. I think I'm just still more excited about a theme park, lots of new lands in, 5 new lands in one place kind of thing, As it stands, that's not to say I'm not excited about the 3 new lands that Disney are bringing in and the other things. I'm very excited about what they've announced. I don't know. I think part of me was just hoping for more. And maybe it's because part of me has been hoping that they would have just gone, do you know what? To hell with it. A 5th gate. But we know that's not what Bob Iger wants to do right now. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the new lands, but we'll see. We'll see.
Now,
it's going to be a few years yet.
Yeah, had they announced a 5th gate, that would have definitely been probably close to 10 years.
Yeah, probably close to 10 years, but that would have been that would have popped. I mean, the thing is, if they were going to do a fifth gate, it's I don't know where they would go with a fifth gate right now, because the project for Animal Kingdom took years and years and years of research, of traveling around the world, traveling to Africa, traveling to Asia, coming up with so many different concepts and stuff, so a fifth gate would be, it's going to take so much development that it's going to be a very long project. But I think, I just think if they announced that, I'd be, that would have topped everything for me, I think. But yeah, new lands at the minute. I'm excited for them. Absolutely. I'm just very excited also for Epic. Daniel.
Definitely. Yes, Daniel.
Thank you. Can I play devil's advocate, please?
Yes, please. It's your turn.
Of course you can.
Say what you thought.
Yeah. Okay. I don't disagree with what you're saying, which is kind of ironic for what I just said about being devil's advocate. If you're talking about like a complete comparison, like comparing with Epic Universe and what's happening in Walt Disney World, I kind of agree in the fact that what Epic Universe is going to bring is going to change the game. I totally agree. With what Disney, if you take Epic Universe out of this, because let's be honest here, we are talking about D23, we're talking about just Disney here. I think what they've announced for Walt Disney World is amazing. I think what they're doing is really beneficial. Now, this is why I'm playing devil's advocate. When you said that I expected more, I kind of get that, because we are all big Walt Disney World fans.
Yeah.
But as Disney fans, we got more. We got so much more. Every park around the world, cruise line, like we got so much.
And I did
more.
say that. I did say that at the top of the show, didn't I? I did say. They spent $60 billion across Disney parks globally.
Everywhere.
So
Shanghai,
Hong Kong,
it would cost $60
Paris,
billion,
California.
It would have cost $60 billion to build the fifth gate.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah.
So. And I don't think they would have just focused on one park in one area of their Disney empire. It's just not. And that's why I don't think this fifth gate, unfortunately, is ever going to happen. Because the more the more these parks move and get bigger, the more hotels they're going to need to build, and the less space they have for actual theme parks. Disney Springs is going to have to get bigger. The water parks, say what you say about people not going there. If they're going to spend more time at Disney with all these theme parks, they're going to want to go somewhere else. They're going to have to improve their water parks, maybe build a small new water park. They're going to have to build on top of everything else. That's why I don't think a fifth gate will ever happen, because of the investment they're putting in all their other parks. Magic Kingdom is technically, the Magic Kingdom is the smallest theme park, but they can still build so much behind it. There's so much room there. So I'm not gutted that, that we didn't get fifth park. I'm quite excited, because I feel like Disney taking small steps is better than being like, here you go, we're going to invest all this money into one theme park and then leave everything else. Because, you look at something like Disneyland Paris, and you look at the Euro Park, the Walt Disney Studios Park, before it got its update, it was probably considered the worst park, because you could get it done by 11 o'clock. And that's because no one devoted their time to Walt Disney Studios Park. The fact that I think Bob Iger has been like, you know what, I am going to devote my $60 billion that I've got into all the parks and slowly build out into every park, I think is a genius idea. So maybe Walt Disney World didn't get as much as maybe what we thought, but I think as options for us Disney fans, we can go anywhere in the world and not only see stuff that's new, but even more new stuff that is coming. So that's kind of like my thought process.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, based on some of the D23 announcements, I'm actually really excited to go back to Paris at some point as well. Probably not going to be for a couple of years yet, but like I'm excited to go to Paris when some of the new stuff hits and the Studios Park is turned into Adventure Park and things like that. So
it's gonna be cool. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm on the fence like you guys too. We will see. We'll see what happens. Wasn't much on villains. They just threw that picture out there and talked about it, but we'll see. I don't know. Dan, I agree with you 100%. Like in our private little chat, we have. I said, "What's the odds of a fifth gate?" I put 0.0. I was right about that. Did I think they were going to build a new land? Yeah, 100%. I thought that was going to happen, but to get maybe like Adam said, 3 it's a win, and it's a win. I think it's good. It's the same concept as some of the stuff that we're losing. It's the same concept as Country Bears. Like, it's just outdated. Like Dan brought up a good point with Bugs Life. Like, they just need to be update more. So there's a lot of
I was
always
going
to move forward.
And like Dan, you were saying, they're taking small steps to kind of evolve and improve the parks. I think that was good that you said that, because I mean, it was they were good announcements, and like I said, they're taking these little small steps. And yes, it's not a 5th gate, but they're evolving the parks and adding things and doing different things. So
Universal can make these big things happen because they've only got 2 parks, and 2, like, they're not the size of Disney. When you really think about it, like, Universal's not making anywhere near as much as money as Disney is making through theme parks. Not even close. So
because they have to pay for the IPs too. That's a lot.
They got to pay for the IPs, but even the land, they don't have a huge amount of land compared to Disney anyway. So of course
they have about 10% of the land that Disney
have 10% and less money. So of course they're going to make a new theme park. But once they built that theme park, it's unlikely they're going to expand on it. That's why they haven't expanded Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios since they opened. Whereas Disney
they haven't got the room. They
don't have the room. Exactly. Yeah. So that's why Disney can make these small adjustments because they do have the space.
Did you guys talk about the nighttime parade? Sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to interrupt.
We did.
Cool. I'm very excited.
We mentioned it earlier. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I mean, I was saying earlier, it's like Magic Kingdom is the best at night. And for them to not have a nighttime show for the past 5+ years is absolutely criminal. And now that they're bringing it back, amazing. Really looking forward to that one. That was one of my favorite announcements for sure. So looking forward to it.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Unfortunately, I got to go. I'm sorry I was gone for a little bit, but I was back.
No worries,
Thank you guys so much. I can't wait to listen back to what you guys talked about. Very cool.
All good.
All right. Adam's wedding's coming up. Hopefully we'll be streaming that. We have Drinking Around the World coming up. We have a couple other things we have ideas about, but I think this might be our last episode before Adam gets married. So congratulations, Adam. We had to come on for the D23. It was exciting. But congratulations, Adam. I can't wait.
Congrats, Adam.
Congrats, Adam.
Yeah,
happy for you, man.
Thank you to my members. Thank you to my sponsors. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'm excited about these changes. We'll see. Hopefully, I was looking back at some of the stuff they kept announcing and they didn't come to fruition. But I don't know. It seems solid. They said everything is up and running. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So hopefully we'll get all this stuff. So, all right. Congratulations, Adam. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dan, for coming on. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. It's great seeing you guys. And we'll see you guys soon. Keep on the lookout for Drinking Around the World with Adam. I'm excited. And maybe his wedding.
Yeah.
We don't know. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Go ahead, Adam. Take care.
Yeah.
I
Thanks,
was
everybody.
just going to say, we got some stuff coming soon. So,
pink beer, baby. Pink strawberry beer, not pink.
Strawberry beer.
Awesome.
Strawberry. Some cherry choof, maybe. We'll see.
Cherry choof.
Cherry choof.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Have a good week.
All right, guys.
See you later, guys.
Later.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.